Hello guys, welcome to the channel. This is your host Maverick, and today we're going to be watching Somali and the Forest Spirit. So, I'm still going through this season's anime one by one. I started out a little bit late, but I wanted to get a good feel for, all the different kinds of anime, and particularly since I already said in my video that in my preview video that I would be watching this one. So I decided to give it a spin, right? I'm a little bit more apprehensive about this one because, the subject matter of it, especially one that deals with more familial bonds, doesn't really fit into the criteria of what I normally watch. I'm not that kind of sentimental person. And not to mention that this kind of subject matter and the genre that it's in is neither conducive for me doing reactions, nor is it fitting of my review heavy style, right? So we'll see how it goes. Really, the only reason why I'm watching this is because of the seiyus, right? The female lead is being voiced by Minase Inari, and then the male lead is being voiced by Ono Daisuke, right? Both very prominent voice actors. Inari in particular, whenever she has these roles in these slice of life kind of anime, 9 times out of 10 it turns out to be a pretty good work, right? So that's why I want to watch this one and at least give it a quick chance. No promises on whether I will make it a series or not. That will depend on what I see. So let's just get down into it. Alrighty, let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. So it's a fantasy slice of life with drama. I think that were the genres. I don't think it has anything particularly to do with action or whatnot. Probably more story driven and character driven. So this is probably the male lead, as we saw within the key visuals and whatnot. I believe he's a golem? Some kind of magical creature. Yeah, a golem. Protector of the forest. Now, instantly, what I'm thinking about is who created the golem, right? Like, who created you? Because after all, the traditional definition of a golem is an uh, artificially made being. Can we say it? Call it that? And I believe this is a human girl, right? Yep. Alright. That was a quick cut into the opening song. How much time passed since the golem found the girl? She seems to have grown a little bit. Aw, look at that. Look at that contrast. ありがとうはこっちの言葉。What does that translate? ありがとうはこっちの言葉。Thank you is something I should be saying? Something like that? The classic Inari voice. Oh, at a city already. I thought we were going to learn more about the forest, but apparently not. Now, I did read the synopsis before going into this, so I do know that these are all, like creatures slash monsters, whatnot. Humans aren't really supposed to be here. I believe humans are actually hunted because of a great war or something. I feel like she looks obviously like a human child, though. Hmm. Oxygen, sunlight, and water. Are you like a plant or something? Minotaur. Okay. Calling it now. There's gonna be a Minotaur race that shows up later. Carried them in the market. Okay, so here we get the context. That was kind of a forced transition, to be honest, but oh well.
して人間はあんなに気難しいんだ。相手を見かけて判断するし、弱いくせにねちっこくてすぐ怒る。やがてその声は波のように広がり、我々と人間は争いを始め、それは大きな戦争になりました。すると弱い人間たちはあっという間に負け。
I think the interesting thing here is that all the different monsters or the different races, they're actually all united. So in classic fantasy, most of the different races, due to racial differences, would not be so unified. How do you have money? Is my question. If you're always in the forest. I mean, do you have... Nobody's like paying you, right? I mean, it's probably not that important, but it's just, you know. And there's normal spiders, isn't it? Like a goat? Sheep? Nothing. Ooh. Bird. We got you there. I mean, I do like this kind of parallel between golems and robots, right? Because in a sense, that is what they are. At least traditionally, golems are artificial beings made. They have a creator. They create them. They don't really have any feelings or emotions or whatnot. That's how traditional fantasy portrays them. Anyway. So quite similar to robots. So is this going to be a journey on how the golem finally got emotions? Again, where does your money come from? I guess she could sell some produce from the forest. This music is actually quite nice. I'm really digging the sound design so far. And it's just so bright. Like, you know, in all these scenes, you get the sun shining, right? They're really emphasizing the light a lot. She wants to hold hands. She's so small. Okay, okay. I guess it is cute watching them walk side by side with each other. 安価すぎる。前の町では倍の相場で取引した。でも旦那、この石はこの辺りじゃ珍しくないですし、このくらいが妥当かと重複しかねる。そう言われましても、この程度の石じゃねえ。 Okay, so I guess that answers my question as to
計算円を主成分とする必勝質物質。私の分析によれば、これは偽物。何を根拠に？ゴーレムは万物の構成物質。目で見た。
super like a robot.
2%は金色の着色料。宝石の大半はガラス玉で、残りは粗悪品。つまり、この店の商品は8割模造品ということだ。店主、私の思考が推察可能だな。
I mean, to be fair, she is a small child.
結構だ。それ持って早く出てっちまいな。言われるまでもない。ソマリ、行くぞ。
Oh,
またか。
like I said, look at the use of the sunlight. Like, overbearingly so. I guess they really want to make this impression that this is very, you know, open and bright and warm world. Hmm. I wonder where she's going to end up. Yeah, you probably shouldn't be there, Somali. Oh, talks?
大丈夫かお前。猫、違う。めんどくせえからほっとこうと思ったんだが、こうずーっとついてこられちゃな。俺のせいで迷子になられちゃ寝覚めも悪いし。
You let her here.
ぐるぐるぐるぐるぐるぐるぐるぐるぐる。そんなこといいから撫でさせろ。いや、よくねえって。ったく、お前どこのガキだ？こんなとこに一人で。ん？なんかお前、どっかで嗅いだ匂いだな。なんて
Smells like a human.
すごくうまそうだ。
In the nick of time.
今すぐこの場から去れ。どうした？
よかった。
何がだ？
やっぱりお父さん来てくれた。
Yeah, don't cause any more mischief, okay, Somali?
あら、いらっしゃい。なあなあ、さっき子連れのゴーレムと会ったんだけど、すっげえおっかないやつでさ。どうせあんたがなんかしたんだろ？してないって。ただ、あの子がなんかこう、うまそうで、そう言ったら急に。
あんた、あんな小さな子にまで色目使ったのかい。
違うよ。
最低ですね。
だから違うってば。
Okay.
先ほどは間に合ったからよかったものの、人間だと感知されていたら危険だったのだぞ。子供というものは興味関心を抱く者の前ではじっとしていられない傾向があるようだ。
Yeah, that is true.
なんだ？
さっきはどうしてソマリのいるとこがわかったんだ？
行動を観察した。
観察。
ソマリが私のそばを離れるのは魅了される事象を見つけた時に限られる。感情は理解不能だ。しかし観察や分析は可能。人間の子供相手は初めてゆえ少々時間は要したがな。しかしその度に迷子になられては問題だ。
Then he's gonna be like, humans cannot be analyzed.
それは時と場合による。
やむを
Oh.
得。つかめ。町の住人を観察して発見したのだが、手を握り合う行為は単独行動を防ぐのに有効だ。
こうか？
握るのは片手だけだ。
じゃあこう？
Aww. She's gonna be happy, isn't she?
お、お父さん、長女。
なるほど。確かに単独行動を防ぐのに有効な手段の
I mean, technically, you're supposed to hold on to her.
制限される。より効果的
Oh
な
wow.
方法を検討する必要があるか。
でもソマリはこれがいい。
そうか。
What? It just reminds me of something. Like, what other anime have I watched that, or works have I watched that featured something similar? You know how? Oh, I remember it now. It's fairly recent. Hold on. This is the ending. I was thinking of Goblin Slayer, right? The protagonist there is also like this sort of, you know, nonchalant attitude. And so we have Inori singing the ending song. Kokoro Sumari? I'm just thinking that this could have easily been set in space as well, uh, instead of in a fantasy world. Alright, see you guys right after this. Alrighty, so that was the first episode of Somali and the Forest Spirit. As I was mentioning at the end there, it is kind of interesting to me that the golem displays so many characteristics as that of a intelligent robot, right? So, as I was saying, you could literally make this into a series that's set in outer space, in sci-fi, instead of being fantasy, and it would work equally as well, right? You can easily consider, so maybe just a normal human child having a robot as guardian, traveling to different planets within the galaxy, searching for her parents, so on and so forth, right? And I do believe that they are going on this journey to search for Somali's parents because that's what the synopsis said, right? And it would also make sense. And in the meantime, right, it's probably also going through this process of self-discovery, particularly for the golem. How he, or how it, I guess, I mean, she's calling him dad, so we'll call him a he, right? And how he observes how to be a parent, how he actually becomes a parent, how he starts to feel emotions and whatnot. But particularly for the emotion part, I feel like that's sort of a false story already, because like Somali said, if you didn't have emotions, you wouldn't be acting the way that he is, right? He wouldn't be tense and worried when about Somali's safety. He wouldn't be in fact, he wouldn't even do anything for her, right? The fact of the matter is that he left his post of the forest in order to help this human child who really literally has nothing to do with him, right? So just the fact that he's doing this, and the fact that he's trying to protect the child and so on and so forth, that already speaks, that already is evidence of the golem having emotions here, and not just from a logical standpoint, right? Because there's nothing logical about him helping the girl, right? That's even right. Even if we say, hey, if in our modern world we see a little girl, we want to help her, find her parents and whatnot, but that's because we're being morally bound by it. It's not because it's the logical thing to do, right? And moral, that is more of an emotional kind of thing, not a logical kind of thing. If his prime directive is to protect the forest, then really what he should have done was just to, ensure that the child either stayed in the forest, or if he feels that it would, it would upset the balance of the forest, then kick her out of the forest, right? That would be the logical thing to do. So yeah. And speaking of Somali, right, it's also, intriguing why she actually called the golem dad, right? Now, this would say to me that she actually doesn't know of her real parents, because if you didn't know of your real parents, you wouldn't go around calling other people dad, right? Children don't really do that. So what this means is I can infer that she probably does not know her parents, or doesn't really have any memory of her parents. Maybe she just, her calling him dad is based on her interpretation of dad. So maybe she also observed other children with their parents as well. So in her mind, this, the definition of a dad is just this figure that's going to help protect her. Maybe it's big, it's reassuring, something like that. Not necessarily dad of being related by blood, or of a family or anything like that, right? So maybe that's true, maybe that's not, but that's what I'm inferring from that scene there. And if they are really going on this journey to search for her parents and whatnot, I can easily foresee a situation in future where, particularly with the kind of human versus monster or beast relation that we see portrayed here, it could easily turn into a situation where they're going to be like, hey, look at that golem, it's kidnapped a human child, get him, rescue the child, something of that sort, right? I could easily see that kind of thing happening, although probably that's not going to happen anytime here within this season, since that seems to be something that's only going to happen later on down the story, right? It seems for all intents and purposes, humans have to, from the backstory that I can get, it's that humans and these creatures, I'm not really sure what to call them, right? They live in very far away, right? And even in two separate lands. And so what I think I'm getting from this is that they basically forced out all the humans within their land, but probably there is still this human kingdom, or these human human cities, human towns, or whatnot existing somewhere else far, far away from here. At least that's what I would guess from the information provided. So yeah, this was basically an introductory episode, so I don't really want to go too far on to other stuff. In terms of the actual, fundamental stuff of the anime, I thought the art was pretty nice. Although, like I was saying within the episode, definitely a lot of lens flare, right? The fake lens flare and whatnot, the sun shining down on literally every scene. They're really, really trying to emphasize how this world is bright and cheerful and whatnot. Everything's under the sun, it's all good. And for someone like me, I'm instantly kind of suspicious of this, right? Is it trying to maintain a facade of some sort? Is there going to be a big contrast with the darkness that comes out of it, right? I'm not really sure if this is that kind of series, because it is a slice of life after all. Maybe I'm overthinking it too much, but I don't know. I just get a little bit too suspicious. I get a little bit suspicious when things are too perfect, right? So we'll have to see about that. Beyond that, the BGM is really stellar. I really loved the different tunes that they were using. In some ways, you could say it's generic fantasy tunes, but I feel like, it was actually quite refreshing to me. And it was, I mean, like I said, it was very pleasant to hear. The sound design of this is definitely good. And for me, it's probably the strongest point of this anime, as of right now, the first episode. So, hopefully from next episode on, we'll learn more about the story and the other character interactions, and we'll go from there. So, there we go. That's my review of the first episode of Somali and the Forest Spirit. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.